Students, today we are going to start 6th chapter of partnership, and it is dissolution of partnership firm. Under this chapter we will discuss two terms. First term is dissolution of partnership, and the second term which is related to it is dissolution of firm. So what is dissolution of partnership? Dissolution of partnership means when existing agreement among the partners comes to an end and they enter into a new agreement comes into existence, but the firm continues as before. Here the firm does not dissolve, firm will continue as before, only the new agreement comes into existence and the existing agreement comes to an end. So what are the cases of dissolution of partnership? First case, on the change of profit sharing ratio, partnership will dissolve and the new agreement will come into existence. On the admission of a new partner, existing agreement comes into end and the new agreement will comes into existence. On the death and retirement of a partner, on the insolvency of a partner, also the existing agreement comes into end and the new agreement will come into existence, but the firm will continue as before. Sixth case is on the completion of the venture. Venture here means the task for which the partnership agreement comes into existence. Suppose the partnership is for the construction of a bridge, and on the completion of the bridge, the existing agreement will comes to an end and they may enter into a new agreement to continue the same firm. Seventh case, on the expiry of the period of partnership. Suppose the partnership contract is for 5 years and on the completion of that period, 5 years, the existing agreement comes into an end, but they may enter into a new agreement for the further period in the future. So it is also called the dissolution of partnership only. It is not the dissolution of firm, it is the dissolution of partnership only. Here the firm will continue as before. So second term is dissolution of firm, and our whole accounting procedure is depending upon in this chapter is dissolution of firm. So when the firm dissolves, on the dissolution of partnership among all the partners of a firm, here it is mentioned that all the partners of the firm, when they agree to dissolve the partnership, it is called dissolution of firm, and the firm comes to an end. It means the firm will discontinue, firm will comes to an end, firm will dissolve here. So in the previous cases, as we have discussed, that in the previous cases only one new partner will admit, only one partner will retire, one partner will become insolvent. But in this case, in the case of dissolution of firm, all the partners will agree to dissolve the partnership. So when all the partners will agree among themselves, they will close the firm. So what are the cases of dissolution of firm? First case is dissolution by agreement. Second case, compulsory dissolution. Third case, on the happening of contingencies. Contingencies means on the happening of some events. Fourth case, dissolution by notice. Fifth case, dissolution by court. So these are the 5 cases. So let us discuss these cases one by one. First case is dissolution by agreement. when all the partners agree. Here it is mentioned that with the consent of all the partners, the firm may be dissolved. So it is dissolution by agreement. And when their contract comes to an end, they may also dissolve the firm. Second case, compulsory dissolution. So when there is a compulsory dissolution, first case is when all the partners become insolvent. Here it is mentioned that all the partners become insolvent. And the second case, business of the firm become illegal. Illegal means against the law. We can say that the partners are involved in smuggling, etc. So they have to dissolve the firm as per law. Third case, when some event has taken place which makes the business unlawful. What type of event? Suppose there is a partnership between China and India, and one of the partners is from China, and the war takes place. When the war will take place, it means China is an enemy country for India. So the firm will discontinue here. They have to discontinue the firm because it is against the law of the country to trade with any enemy country, alien country. So it is a third case when the business becomes unlawful on the happening of an event. And third case, on the happening of an event, that is on the expiry of fixed term. Suppose the partnership is for 5 years. On the expiry of 5 years, they may agree to dissolve the firm. Second case, on the completion of venture. On the completion of venture, suppose they have done the agreement for the construction of a bridge, and on the completion of that bridge, they may dissolve the firm. They may discontinue the firm. On the death of a partner. On the death of a partner, suppose there are only 2 partners, and on the death of one of the partner, the partnership will come to an end, and when the partnership will come to an end, the firm will also dissolve. By adjudication of a partner as insolvent. Adjudication here means declaration of a partner by the court that he is an insolvent. When there are only 2 partners and one partner become insolvent, so it may result into the dissolution of firm. Next case is fourth case, dissolution by notice. If the partnership is at will, on the discretion of the partner, the firm may be dissolved if any one of the partner gives a notice in writing to other partners that he wishes to dissolve the firm. Fifth case, dissolution by court. When the court will interfere to dissolve the firm, in case one of the partner becomes of unsound mind, then the court will interfere to dissolve the firm. Second, when one of the partner becomes permanently incapable of performing duties, so in that case the firm should be dissolved. When one of the partner becomes guilty of misconduct which had the bad impact on their business, so the court will interfere, that firm should be dissolved. Next case, when the agreement is breached persistently. Persistently means continuously. When one of the partner is not following their agreement and he breaches it continuously, then the court may say that to dissolve the partnership, the other partner will apply for it. नेक्स्ट केस है transferred, when one of the partner transferred whole of his interest to the third party. In that case, the partnership may be dissolved, and when the partnership comes to an end, the firm also comes to an end. And last case is the firm cannot be carried on except at a loss, when the firm is continuously going into losses and no one can recover it. So the firm should be dissolved. So what are the differences between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of firm? So what are the differences? First difference is termination of business. In case of dissolution of partnership, the business never comes to an end. But in case of dissolution of firm, the business comes to an end. Second point, settlement of assets and liabilities. Here there is no settlement of assets and liabilities. But in case of dissolution of firm, they have to sell their assets and they have to make payment of their liabilities because the firm dissolves here. Court's intervention. Court will never interfere in case of dissolution of partnership, but the court may interfere in case of dissolution of firm. Economic relationship. Economic relationship never comes to an end in case of dissolution of partnership, but here the economic relationship comes to an end in case of dissolution of firm. Because the firm dissolves, partnership dissolves, so the relationships also dissolves. Closure of books. Books are not closed in case of dissolution of partnership because the firm continues here, and in case of dissolution of firm, the books are closed. Next is other dissolution, and in case of other dissolution, it does not include dissolution of partnership, does not include dissolution of firm. But in case of dissolution of firm, it also includes dissolution of partnership. So other dissolution here means there are only two types of dissolutions we are discussing. First one is dissolution of partnership and second one is dissolution of firm. And dissolution of firm also includes dissolution of partnership. Next topic in case of dissolution of firm is the settlement of accounts. How to settle the accounts in case of dissolution of firm? Because on the dissolution of firm, the firm ceases to conduct business. The business closes. So in this case, when the business comes to an end, the assets are sold, assets are realized, and liabilities are paid, and the balance, if any, is distributed among the partners. But if in case of loss, in case of deficiency, loss is met by the partners in their profit sharing ratio. It means on the dissolution of firm, books have to be closed. So first step is to dispose of all of its assets. Dispose of means that the firm have to sell off all of its assets. Then out of the amount realized from the assets sold, they have to make payment of the firm's debt and then private debts. So what will be the treatment of losses on the dissolution of firm? This also includes deficiencies of capital. So losses should be paid first out of profits available, then next out of capital of the partners, and lastly these shall be shared by the partners in their profit sharing ratio. So this is a treatment of losses in case of dissolution of firm. Second treatment, how the amount realized from assets should be applied. on the sale of assets, when cash is realized from the sale of asset, it should be used first to pay firm's debt to the third parties. What are the firm debts? Bank loan or payment to the creditors, bills payable are the firm debts. So it should be paid first out of the cash realized from the sale of assets. Then next payment should be to the partner's loan. If the firm has taken loan from the partners, then it should be paid next. And next payment should be to the partner's capital. And in the last, if the residue, if any, it shall be divided in the profit sharing ratio of the partners. So there are two terms used, that private debt and firm's debt. What is private debt? Private debts which a partner owes in his personal capacity are known as private debts. Private debt means which a partner has taken in his personal capacity is private debt. And firm's debt, with the debt which a firm owes to the outsiders, are known as firm's debt, which the firm has taken from the outsiders, such as bank loan, etc. These are known as firm's debt. And how these are paid? First, the firm's property will be used for making payment to firm's debt. Then if any balance amount remains, or if any residue is available after making payment of firm's debt, then firm's property should be used to make payment of the private debts. So out of firm's property, first payment should be of firm's debt, then the balance, if any, then it should be used for the payment of private debts. In the same way, if there is private property of the partners, these should be used first for making payment of private debt of the partners, which they have taken personally in their personal capacity. Then afterwards, if any balance amount remains with them, then that should be used for making payment of the firm's debt. So it should be noted that private property of the partner does not include personal property of his wife and children. It means the property of children and wife does not include in the personal property of the partner. Thus, if the assets of the firm are not adequate enough to pay off firm's liabilities, partner have to pay out of their net private assets. Net private assets means first he will pay his personal liabilities, private liabilities, then he will make payment. He will make payment how? Private assets minus private liabilities. Then if any balance remains, then he will make payment to the firm's debt. So next is the accounting treatment. There are 4 accounts which we have to prepare in case of dissolution of firm. First account is realization account. Second is partner's loan account. Third one is partner's capital account. And fourth one is bank or cash account. So what is realization account? And it should be remembered that in case of dissolution of firm, the balance sheet is not prepared because we are going to sell all of its assets and making payment of all of its liabilities. So there is no need to prepare balance sheet in case of dissolution of firm. So first account which we have to prepare is realization account. So realization account is prepared to ascertain net profit or loss on the realization of assets and payment of liabilities. So how it is prepared? All assets other than cash and other than fictitious assets should be transferred on the debit side of this account, and all the external liabilities are transferred to this account on the credit side. So here external liabilities, the term external liabilities means that the payment to third parties. Here the partner's loan account should not be written in the realization account, because partner's loan account we have to make payment to the partner separately from the third parties. So that is why here it is mentioned that all external liabilities should be transferred to realization account. It also records sale of assets and payment of liabilities. And last we will total it, and the balance should be finded out, and the balance in this account is termed as profit or loss on the realization, which should be transferred to partners capital account in their profit sharing ratio. So what is the format of realization account? So here we are going to discuss format of realization account, and the first step of realization account is to transfer all the assets. All the assets means except cash and fictitious assets. On the debit side of realization account, here we will write to plant and machinery from the balance sheet, land and building, investment, debtors and stock. So here the book value should be written. This should be transferred on the debit side of realization account. And what will be the entry? Realization account debit to assets. And next step is to transfer the provisions created against these assets. If in the balance sheet or in the question the provisions are also given against these assets, then these should be written on the credit side. So here by provision for the bad debts, by provision for the depreciation on any asset, or by investment fluctuation fund, any fund is created against any asset, these should be written, their book value should be written on the credit side. And second step is to transfer the liabilities. Here the liabilities, these are the liabilities at the book value should be transferred. And liabilities, because assets we have transferred on the debit side, and the liabilities should be transferred on the credit side. So from the balance sheet we will write the book values by sundry creditors, by bills payable, by outstanding expenses and by bank loan. These are the liabilities to third parties only. Here the partners loan account should not be transferred, because we will make payment to the partner's loan account separately after making payment to third parties. So here only the bank loan should be written, the outside liabilities should be written here. And next, third step is to realize these assets. Now all these assets should be sold, and the cash realized from those assets should be written on the credit side. The amount will be given to you in the question. So you will write on the credit side by bank or cash realized, plant and machinery sold, land and building sold, investment sold, debtors sold and stock sold. And next step, fourth step is to make payment to the liabilities. Here you have to settle the liabilities, and the same liabilities which we have written on the credit side, here the book value was written, and here we will write the amount of payment to them. So here the sundry creditors, bills payable, outstanding expenses, sundry creditors, bills payable, outstanding expenses, bank loan should be written here. So we are making payment to the creditors. Now fifth step, if there is any realization expenses paid by the firm, then these should be written to bank or cash realization expenses. But if the partner make payment of any liability, then his capital account should be mentioned here, to partner's capital account. if he makes payment to the creditors, then his name should be mentioned, his capital account should be mentioned here. And if any asset is taken over by the partner, then it should be written on the credit side of the realization account. By partner's capital account, asset taken over by him. Suppose the asset, that is land and building, is not sold to third parties. Land and building is taken over by partners, any partner. So his in that case, his partner's capital account should be credited here. And now we will total our debit side and credit side, and it may result into profit or it may result into loss. If there is profit, it should be written on the debit side, and if there is loss, it should be written on the credit side. And the profit or loss should be distributed among all the partners in their profit sharing ratio. So these are the steps of realization account.